Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, come on in the room. Let's come in and have a wonderful conversation with my nephew, the one and the only Christian David. Woo! If I had a clap machine,
Yes.
we'd be doing the clap clap. All right, man. How's it been? Before we get into all of the music, just how have you been doing? How are you doing? What's going on there in Boston?
There's a lot going on here in Boston, but I'm great. As everybody knows, I'm getting ready to graduate, and so that is that's kind of like where I'm at right now mentally. Just somebody I was in class today, and one of my classmates was like, "Yeah, graduation commencement's in 2 months." I said, "Whoa!" I said, "What?" And so yeah, everything has been flying by. Like literally, midterms are next week. Then we go to spring break, and I applied and sent in my information to be a part of the commencement concert, which is huge.
Wow,
And if I get
and so
accepted
many
into
people
that,
are coming.
yeah, if I get accepted into that, we start rehearsals in April,
Wow.
and we rehearse through it. So time is almost up.
Yeah. So for those who don't know you, for those who haven't followed you, how long have you been there?
It'll be 2 years in May.
2 years.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in May.
Why was that school in particular the school of choice when you left California?
Because God said go there.
Okay.
That's
And,
literally what
and, and to that
happened.
point, has it proven to be a God move?
It has. It has. I don't know, I've shared this before, but I had the only thing I knew about Berkeley was that a guy I know named John Witt went here in
Yep. I know John.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came here in 2009, and I called him when
Beast
I was
on the
going through the
Keys of
application.
Oregon. Yes. His dad
Yeah,
and I were really good friends. Yes, go ahead.
yeah. And so I talked to him, but I'd never been to Boston. I didn't know anybody in Boston, and but it was a huge faith move, and God kept pointing in this direction, and so as they say, the rest is history.
Well, man, we are excited about what God has been doing in your life and in your ministry, and of course, your family. So I kind of know, I've kind of been a part of the journey you've been sharing, and it's just been nothing short of just an amazing, amazing experience with the favor of God and the doors He's opened. I mean, you've had the opportunity to go to New York and to do some off Broadway stuff, right?
Yeah. I've done within my first 6 months of being here, I was cast in my first regional production of The Little Mermaid, and then I was featured in an article in BroadwayWorld.com
Okay.
about that production, working with my first Broadway director. So yeah, things moved very rapidly when I got here. So yeah, it's proven very fruitful.
Besides the cold weather, was there any other areas of adjustment that you had to get used to?
East Coast, just East Coast living, which I like it. I love it actually. I love the East Coast. Getting acclimated to that, and just the Berkeley environment because it's very fast. It was very new, and just and then the biggest thing was just being away from home, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten the opportunity to travel extensively over the years, but I've never lived away from home, uh, let alone across the country. So that was the biggest adjustment. But God has been faithful, not just to me, but to my family. And I want to shout out. You know what? While I'm talking about this, I want to shout out my home church family, Moments of Blessings, because I everybody knows how I feel about my mother, and they have been just the biggest rallying community around her. Whatever she has needed, they have been there checking on her. I don't have to worry about a thing because I know my church family and her church family
Yeah.
has her, and so I had to say that because
Yeah.
yeah, I
No,
love my pastor, love my church. Yes,
Moments of Blessings really is a special place. God has blessed us. I think this summer we will probably be celebrating almost 55 years of being in the community in Fresno. And so, thank God for his faithfulness. Listen, so let's get into this. So, before we went live, I was asking you, this is your junior project, right? That you are
it
releasing.
is. Yeah.
Okay. Now, before and we're going to listen, those of you who tuned in, we're going to listen to a clip, not clip, we're going to listen to a track of his latest single. But kind of tell us how this journey has been moving towards this third installment of your musical gift.
Well, like my move to Berkeley and Boston, I didn't plan on putting out another album because my last one came out almost 5 years ago. And I've been on my theater game. I've been
Yeah,
acting, I've been auditioning.
you're
That's what
trying to be an
my
EGOT,
bag
right?
was. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what my bag was. And then when I started making, like, when I did those couple of regional shows out here, I was making some good money. So I was like, okay, I still serve the Lord, but I'm on my theater game right now.
Because it
And
pays the bills. Hallelujah.
it does. Yes, that was nice, getting that weekly, being part of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
union.
yeah.
But the top of last year, the Lord told me, he said, get ready to release some new music. And I was like, what? And he said, get ready to release some new music. Now, quiet as it's kept, a lot of people don't know, I have an EP that I recorded with Devin Watkins
Mm,
back in 2021 that is just sitting there. It's just sitting
okay.
there. It's almost done. Devin was actually talking to me about it last week. He's like, Christian, all we need to do is just XYZ and we're done. I was like, okay. So when the Lord said that, I thought it was that. And so I started making preparations to release that EP. Got the
Mhm.
cover art design and everything, and we were trying to line it up for Devin to get out here, and the schedules just didn't line up. And then I was trying to line up with another lead that I wanted on a song that didn't, like, nothing was coming together.
Mhm.
But when I had a meeting with the chair of the pro music department, and God's blessed me because of the things that I did in my previous school. There are some classes here that I was able to get around. And
Mm,
so in that meeting, we were talking about those classes, and he brought up my capstone. He said, okay, he said, your capstone is going to be due next spring, talking about this semester. I
mhm.
said, yes. He said, start it now. And I said, okay. And so when I walked out of there, I knew I was going to do an album for my capstone. I knew that much. I had in my mind I was going to do a tribute album to Sammy Davis Jr.
Mhm.
I really resonated with
Hold
him
on.
when I
By the
had
way,
seen
this
him.
is not alcohol, y'all. It's coffee. But go ahead. I know the Saints be deep. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure. But no, so I was gonna do Sammy Davis, because I really resonated with him. I performed as him several times, and so I was like, but the Lord was like, no, and He pushed me in this churchy direction. I've always had a love for the Saints and Praise series, the Azusa Carlton Pearson Azusa series, Bishop G.E. Patterson,
Mhm.
um, at Leah, stupid. You see.
Leah says only if it's that's right, Leah. I'm saved and sanctified. See, she said only if it was a red cup. That's right. Don't be trying to play me. Thank you, Leah. I love you, sister. I love you.
But
But
yeah,
listen
I
though,
always.
because hold on, because you said something, and we're gonna get to the music, but you said something that's very powerful and prophetic. You said the Lord interrupted you, right? Do you think that what he asked of you was prophetic in timing and relevant because of the trend in the culture?
I do. I do because at the time, like I said, I had a love for all those albums, and I've thought about doing something in that vein. And he kept pushing me towards it, but and I know we're going to talk about all the particulars, but now seeing it released and the response that it's getting, I was talking to one of my friends in Washington a couple nights ago, and he said, "Dude," he said, "I've not heard an album like this in a long time." He said, "I felt like I was in a '90s revival." He said this is just straight church. He said, and he said it's taking me back to almost felt like he wanted to say back to that place where I first believed.
No, you know why?
But
No,
go ahead.
you know why? Because it's been a falling away. Yesterday, here in LA, we celebrated our 50th Academy, our 50th year in ministry as a church. And the songs that we sung were songs that were sung back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, right? But they went over so well because they were just straight, unadulterated, churchy, drive song. Like, I mean, they weren't pretty, there was no finesse to it, but they were the kinds of songs that invoked and evoked such a presence of praise, gratitude. It was just so. Yes, I can understand why you were impressed upon to kind of herald that sound again because there's been a falling away, a drifting away, if you will, Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah.
and it needs to be preserved. There is a belief, an incorrect belief, that individuals in my age bracket don't have an appreciation for traditional gospel music anymore, and that is not true.
Yeah.
And so this project was to, continue the legacy of traditional gospel music, to continue to help preserve the sound of traditional gospel music, because I love contemporary. Now, don't get me wrong, I love contemporary. I love it, but this that we recorded is what I was birthed into. This is what was used to pray me through, and what I still use to pray through it, pray through and all that. So yeah, that's where my love and appreciation and the drive for this came
So
from.
so there's a multifaceted dimensional approach to this project, even though it's a very um, simple focus, right? In the sense that you brought it back home, so to speak. You brought it back to the songs that are sung in just about every church, every charismatic or Pentecostal church, right? And I know in talking to you that you were very intentional in selecting
Yes,
songs that represented different reformations, right? Yeah.
yes,
So tell us about that.
because sorry, my AirPod died.
Okay. Okay.
I have been blessed and fortunate to have been a part. I was born and raised in the Church of God in Christ.
Okay.
Still a card carrying member. YPWW, Sunshine Band, Purity Class.
All
I
right.
was in it. So yes, born and raised in the Church of God in Christ. And I was there till in my teens. And then I moved over to a church that was a hybrid, a healthy hybrid of Baptist and full gospel, and that of Pearly Grove Baptist Church. So I got the true Baptist experience of the deacons coming up doing devotion. Saw
Devotion.
what
Yeah.
that was. Yeah, saw what that was like. And then after their time of devotion, we went to the contemporary full gospel praise and worship period. So I was there for about a good 5 years. I was at a non-denominational ministry, my godmother's church, Cheryl Bowden, where we didn't have musicians at all. Sang to tracks. And when I say, I don't mean instrumentals, we turned the song on and sang on top of that.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I was there for about 5 years. And then I was in the PAW with the Apostolics for 7 years.
Wow.
And so because I wanted to celebrate that journey, because no matter what background we come from, one thing I've experienced is that we all experience God in our own way, and God blesses us in our own way, no matter if you're at a Kojic church, a Baptist church, an Apostolic church, an AME church, and all those backgrounds need and deserve to be celebrated and preserved, because that's somebody's
They
childhood.
speak to somebody. Yeah.
Yes. That's somebody's childhood. That's somebody's background. And so I really love that we captured this on this album.
Well, let's take a listen to this title song. I guess it's the single, right?
The radio single, yes.
Okay. Set the song. Kind of tell us why you chose this particular song as your single, and also for those of you who don't know, he has a very special guest who you might recognize as one of the additional leads on it. Tell us about that.
Yeah. To be honest, the reason why I was chosen as the radio single is not only because of how it went over, but it's just radio friendly. And this was a reimagining.
Take note, artists. Take note. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah. I didn't walk in like, okay, this is gonna be the thing, because you just don't know. You can plan for this to be it, and then this goes over better. So, but this was a reimagining of a classic James Cleveland song from the 1960s, which Bishop Robert W. McMurray made famous in the PAW, because if you knew him, he did not get up at any point in time without singing this song, Trust Him. And so this was my connection to the PAW and my celebration of the PAW and the apostolic faith.
Who did you imagine singing alongside you? Who was that intentional?
No, when I tell you God was all in the middle of this, so I laid the track, and I made the reference and sent it to my MD, and so I was sitting here at Berkeley, right over here, and Roman Collins had just been eliminated from American Idol, and he was doing this thing, and I sat there, and the Lord said, "Reach out." And I was like, I don't know this dude. I don't know. And I found out, and when I saw that he lived down there in LA. And so I was like,
he's an awesome guy.
Yeah. So I hit a buddy of mine, Isaac Dorn. He's like, yeah, no, Roman.
Isaac know everybody.
Yeah. So Isaac connected me and Roman. Roman was like, man, I would be honored. And I was like, for real? Because, I'm thinking you coming off of, this, you just going to be like, here's my rider. I'm going to need 5,000. He's like, man, hey, let's make it happen. I'll make it work. And
yeah. Shout out to Roman, newly married, I guess, last year. But a tremendous, he's done stuff with me, for me, and is an awesome guy, awesome gift. You don't find them like that. But he reminds me of you in the sense that you've remained true to your roots. You've remained true to the bridge that has brought you over. You've remained true and loyal to the faith that has brought you over. And so let's take a listen. Let's let our audience kind of have a preview as to what they can expect when they purchase Hallelujah and download Hallelujah. Now, okay, we don't believe in piracy, and we don't. Okay, here we go. Let's take a listen to this new single that's just dropped by Christian David, entitled "Trust Him," in his new EP, "Churchin with the Saints." All right.
Yes.
Trust him. All right. I like that. That's my, that has that churchy groove to it. Tell us in particular why that song speaks to you. I mean, just the title alone, but just tell us why that song resonates so deep in your spirit.
Because that's my testimony right now. They're literally, everybody looks at the wonderful things that are going on, and there are some wonderful things going on, ever since the move. But there's been times where I was like, okay, look, God,
right.
And I had to trust him. This has been a faith journey and a trust journey where literally, it's me and God. And so that's why that song speaks directly to me. I don't just talk about trust anymore. I've lived it. And so I can sing about what I know.
So with that being said, all the songs that you chose for this project, this capstone project that started out as a school project, right? But morphed into a legitimate body of work. Like, how sometimes we kind of in our mind just kind of say like, oh, I'm gonna just do a little something, right? Not that we're downplaying it, but that we really don't put the energy and the emphasis, right? We just kind of like, okay, I got to do this. But that's kind of what happened. It's taken on its own character, right?
No, I always knew this was going to be, because that's how I pitched it. because the way it actually, and what actually ended up happening, my capstone was due earlier than I thought it was going to be, because should be doing it right now, which
Mm,
lets me know that this was ordained for such a time as this,
right.
because really it was supposed to be being worked on this semester, but there
Wow.
just so happened to be a spot open in an online capstone class last semester. And the professor emailed me and she said, "Do you want this spot?" And I was like, "Okay." And so, no, it was pitched as a full live recording, had to be mixed, mastered, album art, all that had to be submitted and turned in for the A. So it was big. It was, and I had to document everything, and so that's why you see
Wow.
in the video footage that you've seen.
So this carried just as much of an expense as if you were doing it for yourself outside of a school project.
Not as much, thankfully, this time, because there were individuals like the musicians and the videographers that knew this was a school project, and so they wanted to be a part of this,
Oh
um,
man,
and
that's awesome.
pushing me towards graduation.
That's awesome.
And
You
yeah.
know, the reason why I made that statement was because if you listen to the songs, and I was there at the live recording, um, it's it does not come across as a school project. It comes across as a legitimate, intentional body of work, as if you have been in the industry a long time. And I think that that speaks to your level of maturity and professionalism. You know, I've heard it all, right? I mean, I've been around, thank the Lord, and I'm very proud. 52 years, thank you, Jesus. I've heard a lot, and sometimes people don't put forth an effort if it's a school project, right? You know, unless you're in certain schools where the competition is stiff and the standard is high. You know what I'm saying? Right, right. And so sometimes people approach it like I'm just going to do this to get a grade. What I'm saying is that you didn't do this just to get a grade. That became although that was maybe a focus, it became a byproduct. You did this to show your skill set and to show people in the world what you're capable of doing as an artist. So I congratulate you for that, because if you operate in excellence, then the product you give us is excellent. I
Yeah.
went around China to say just that statement. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And
What happens when you start getting old? You start taking extra time and using extra words to get to your point. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You say it.
yeah, I actually held 3 listening sessions here at Berkeley,
Okay.
with the Berkeley professors to get their feedback on this project. God bless me with an amazing mixing engineer, Jordan Jennifer, who I met 2 days after I got back for the fall semester. When I tell you God just, it was back, back, back. That's literally what happened. And so, yeah, I was thankful for the A, but seeing what's going on with the project now, like you said, it was ordained to be released the way it has been right now. I'm thankful, and it was inside the iTunes top 100 Christian gospel albums
All
yesterday. So
right, man. Well,
somebody's listening to
listen.
it.
Congratulations. And we celebrate every victory. Man, that is well, again, it just speaks to the testament of the times that people want to hear. You know, regardless to what is being said and portrayed, um, the antithesis is people, there is a cry in the earth for God. There is a cry in the earth of returning back to your roots. And I think we, as the church and the people of God, and those who are in the industry and those who do gospel music, I think we should never stray from that focus and mission. Is that our goal is to tell the story of redemption in a way that is palpable, in a way that is convicting, in a way that challenges people to want to have a relationship with God. If we get distracted, if we get off focus or misguided, we've missed the essence of why we do this particular genre of music. You know, so thank you
Yeah.
as a young man for staying true, man, because it really means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot. Yeah. Well, listen, brothers and sisters, I appreciate you. One more time, I'm going to play this track because I want you all to go back to go out and buy it. So many people have made comments. Sister Crystal Gray. I'm so proud of you, brother. Gregory Allen Jr. Thank you. Sherry A.L. King, Songbird Stewart. Of course, you all, thank you for supporting our brother, our nephew, our son, in the industry. Proud of him. And for those of you who know his body of work, go back and even buy the old stuff he's done. Because, listen, artists live off of you investing in their music and their craft, all right? And so we don't want to be those that take advantage of people who have been used to bless us, to inspire us, and to give us hope. Once again, let's listen to this single that Christian David has just dropped, and please go out and purchase it. It's going to bless you. Well, there you have it, brothers and sisters. The latest single from my nephew, Christian David. Thank you all for joining us and stopping by and listening to this conversation and discussion. Christian, any last parting words you'd like to share?
Yes. I really want to give a shout out to everybody that was involved with this. And a special note, like number one with the band. Everything that you hear on this album, this Churchin with the Saints album, band-wise, is from that night. No overdubs.
Wow.
That was all them.
That's impressive, man.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Everything you hear on that album is all them. My singers, Leah, my sister, Leah Marie, gotta shout her out.
Leah.
Yes, this is my third album.
Listen, Leah's a jewel, y'all, and I'm telling you, this is her year for the world to hear her voice. I just prophesied that. Go ahead.
Yes, she's been a part of all three albums, and so I want to thank her, Danielle Johnson, Chanel Young,
my cousin. Yeah, Chanel Young.
Shout her out, Mystique Stewart. For those of you that listen to this this album, there's one thing that's been noted and people have been talking about is that Baptist medley.
Yeah.
And she was the one on that. And so I'm very thankful to have her a part of this.
Is that her, Songbird Stewart?
Songbird Stewart, yes. Yes. That
Girl,
is her.
You drove it.
Yes.
You gave us a Baptist bit.
Tylee Works and my brother Michael Bradley from here in Boston, who came to Cali. God specializes. Let the Saints have it.
Now, I don't know. I think my uncle recorded that with James Cleveland or some. Gene Martin. I know he sung it.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead. When I heard that song, if my dad were alive, that was one of his favorite songs. Christian. Oh. He used to wear that song out. So thank you. I take that as an ode to our founder. Yeah, thank you.
Well, you know what? I didn't know that, but that explains why. Because Elder James asked me, because we were driving, he said, "What made you record this song?"
Yeah,
and I said, honestly, because there was another song in that place, and I ran across that one and got another unction. Lord said, and so
that was an ode to our father. He was a tremendous. Thank you. But okay, so I'm sorry. Any other shout
Yes,
outs?
Michael, my engineer Jordan Jennifer, who mixed and mastered this album, sounds pristine. And everybody that was Demaria Harris, everybody that was involved with this project. I just had to take that time to shout them out, because you end up being the face of the project, but there's many hands
Sure.
behind the scenes that
Sure.
help to make this
To make it
happen and make it come to pass. And
happen.
so I could not go without saying thank you to them. Shouting this out for the first time on Believe Radio Fresno, my new manager, Kelly Halford, out of
All right.
Nashville.
All right. All right. All right.
Consultants. So yes, had to shout her out. And lastly, I dropped the flyer today, but everybody that's in the Northeast area,
Yeah. You're going to have something in Boston, right?
yeah, the CD release is out here in Boston on March 29th.
March 29th. Oh, man, I'll be in Paris. But for those of you who are going to be in the States, please, if you can, get to Boston. You were talking, that made me think, man, I need to go back to school, because listen, in that type of setting, you have some of the most brilliant minds, right? And who'll just do it because it's a part of their passion and love and artistry. So, yeah,
you never know who you're gonna run across. And let me tell you, Jordan, I'm gonna tell him I said this. He's gonna see it, but Jordan is stuck with me, because to find an engineer like this, and his spirit is so wonderful. His spirit is so wonderful. I just it's so amazing. And so, but yes, this environment. I was telling the pastor when I came home for the break. Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you'll walk down these halls and you'll see students in classrooms just practicing. Some of them are working on projects, but they're just practicing. And so to your point, when you're in an environment like this, it pushes you to want to be your best.
Because it's on the level of Juilliard. I mean, it's you went to an institution that is the creme de la creme of, you know what I mean, of various musical disciplines and theater. And so, just to get into such a prestigious university is really just a testament to your future, right? And to the plans that God has for you, and to the audience that he's going to place you and position you in front of. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is haphazard. Everything with God is intentional. And again, we're just grateful to witness and to be along for the ride, and along to see what God is doing in your evolution, right? And so again, kudos to you, man. Congratulations. We're here supporting you, Believe Radio Fresno and Believe Radio, Dr. Adamology, the whole team.
Yes, Adam.
Yes, we are a whole network, and we're here to push you. We believe in you, and any way that we can show our support and lend our support, you got it from us. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Christian David, his new single, Trust Him. You can download it on all digital platforms.
The whole album. Get the whole album.
Thank you. Get the whole album. And it's going to be a blessing to your soul. And it's going to put you in that vein of church like you were used to when you were coming up. Thank you again. Y'all have a great night. And let's go out on that song.